By now, you've probably heard my Magic Wand story. It's a brand that's been part of my personal journey for more than 20 years. But no matter how many times I sing Magic Wand's praises, I'll never be able to fully capture the story of this incredible brand. Well, now journalist and author Kate Sloan just completed a limited audio series documenting the history and impact that Magic Wand has created over the last 56 years. It's called Making Magic. And the series chronicles Magic Wand's incredible brand story through interviews with nearly 40 experts, performers, business owners, educators, and fans. So I got a sneak preview of this series, and what I loved is that Kate weaves together snippets from all their interviews into this amazing story arc. She covers Magic Wand's journey from appliance store massager to its legendary influence on culture and sexual independence, and it's all just fascinating. The first episodes of Making Magic are available now at makingmagicseries.com or on all popular podcast platforms. Just search for Making Magic or visit makingmagicseries.com today. Thanks for listening to Sex with Emily. On today's show, I'm talking about the common lies that people tell around sex. And I think we can all relate to this because, hey, we're all guilty of at least one. Topics include, from the amount of sex to faking orgasms to lessening your sex number, everyone has told a sex lie. But here's why you should just be honest. So you've tried and tried to get on the same page as your partner sexually, but it just seems like you're not compatible. What do you do? Swallowing, how to do it without gagging, and a new tip you may not have heard before. And asymmetrical anatomy, learning to love your lovely labia despite what you see in porn. All this and more. Thanks for listening.
Look into his eyes. They're the eyes of a man obsessed by sex. Eyes that mock our sacred institutions. Bedroom eyes, they call them in a bygone day.
Hey, Emily, you got a boyfriend? Because my man E here, he just got his heart broken. He thinks you're kind of cute.
A girl's gotta have her standards. Oh my.
Do women know about shrinkage?
Isn't it common knowledge?
What do you mean, like laundry? It shrinks?
Can we not talk about sex so much?
Are you kidding me?
Oh my God, I feel so good.
Being bad feels pretty good. But you know, Emily's not the kind of girl you just play with.
You're listening to Sex with Emily. We're talking about sex, relationships, and everything in between. For more information, please comment, subscribe on iTunes or where you ever listen to our podcast. You know, Spotify, Google Play, SoundCloud, iHeartRadio. It really helps us, and we love when you subscribe and tell all your friends to listen. And you can also find me on SiriusXM Radio, Stars Channel 109. I am there Monday through Friday evenings, 5 to 7 p.m. Pacific. And you can also get a free 30-day trial if you go to sexwithemily.com/SXM, but you can still call into the show. Even if you don't have Sirius, it's 888-947-8277, because essentially, I'm here just to help you and answer your questions. Also, find us on all social media. It's at Sex with Emily across the board. And I hope you guys enjoy the show. Here's a survey. I love a good survey. Here's what men and women lie about when it comes to sex. The most common lies. First, I thought, should we wait and see what people say if they can guess them? But we're going to break it down for you. And I can relate to these. So here you go. Women's most common sex lies. So lies they tell in their life around sex. I'm not even going to start with the first one. That's a whole conversation.
Yeah.
Faking an orgasm. Okay, so we get why you do it. We've covered that a lot. Like, we've all faked it.
Yeah.
I don't actually know any woman who has not faked it. The reasons are because we want to please our partner. We don't want to feel bad. Mm-hmm. We actually know we're not going to get there.
Yeah. Sometimes you just know.
You just know. It's just easier to tap out and lie with a fake orgasm, which is kind of easy to do. It's not like a heart. There's so many harder things in faking orgasm. It comes so naturally. Like, you're like, sometimes you even...
Or actually
sometimes
doesn't.
I faked it in the past and I even believe myself. I was like, that was so... Did I have an orgasm?
Well, because sometimes there is something
I mean, I haven't done it, you guys, just so you know. In 14 years since I started this show, I've never faked one. But I was a professional.
That was the parameters for her starting her podcast.
Literally,
she couldn't fake orgasms
ever again.
anymore.
Yeah, that was the first thing I've learned.
You're being true to yourself.
Yeah. It's like, what a lie. Disservice. And then your partner's going, every woman orgasms when they're with me.
Well, yeah, because then he's gonna think, or she, whoever you're with. You think a woman? Okay, actually, question.
Oh,
do you think a woman would be able to tell if another woman was faking it because
Yes.
they know what it feel like, what's going on down there?
I think so. I believe that lesbians are less likely to fake it for sure, and I think we would know. And why would you? You'd
And
be
then
like,
they
do you
would
know how this operates? You know how
Yeah.
you've been driving this car, like you know what you're doing, and you're like, why would we? Why would you if you're with a woman? You get it. You're like, girl, you gotta get it. You're not gonna do that or whatever. Here's your vibe. Here's the magic wand.
Yeah.
We would do it. We wouldn't leave ourselves hanging.
We wouldn't.
No.
I'm sure that everyone has faked it. I'm sure in all types of relationships this has happened.
But whatever, is there something to potentially, not like full faking it, but in a way fake it till you make it, like sometimes when you feel like you're into that pleasure, you get closer?
Well, yes. When you breathe and you make more moans and you're really in your body, you can sort of almost get there, and then you're over the edge, and then you already fake it.
Sorry, my mom just texted me and she's like, you don't have to have sex tonight.
Your mom should just call in.
I know.
She really should. Oh my
okay,
gosh.
Mom, let me just tell. What's your mom's name again?
Lori.
Lori. Okay, I'm not saying she has to. This is my goal for your daughter. I would like your daughter and Michelle here to go out and live their 20s in LA. Sex was just I need them to go out and meet people. I don't want her to hang out with her friends that she's known forever. Jamie in her apartment with the 3 people all day long, going back to God knows where. We're in LA. We're in Hollywood. We're in West. She's got to go out, make new friends, meet new people. If sex happens, amazing. If not, just meet cool people. That's what you do in your 20s. You go out, figure out who you like, who you are, and don't stay comfortable in your little place. Yeah. That's all I'm saying, Lori.
Yeah. I wish I had that kind of confidence everywhere. Like, I want like a pocket-sized Emily. Just to remind myself, like, you know, when me and Jamie are out, be like, this is the mission.
I've definitely channeled Emily during this before.
That's what I need to do. It's like consistently remind myself that you are with me.
Oh.
Yes. Because it gives me confidence when you're like, I need you and Jamie to go out and do this. You're in LA. I mean, Jamie like, oh, we're lame. And we're going out tonight. We're going to a party.
Because that's what you got to do.
Channeling Emily.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Okay. Well, you do that. I mean, you can't. I'm here all. Some days you're like, when did she stop freaking talking? I wish get her out of my pocket. Get her out of my head.
I'll just put you on the side. Be like, hey.
Snooze button. Just kidding.
You can't snooze me.
I know.
Unfortunately. Here's the point. Friday, this weekend. Like, what could you do this weekend? Or where are you stuck right now when you're like, this weekend, I kind of want to ask this person out. I really want to have sex with my partner. God, I've really been wanting to use this new whip. You know, I don't know, whatever, new toy. I should probably break up. Should I go on the second date? What is the one thing right now, because I can help you, that you want to do this weekend, or that you like just need a little help? All right, we're talking about lies. What else? I have a headache.
I mean, then don't you have to, if you keep saying you have a headache, like, don't you have to pretend like you have a headache if you don't actually have one?
Yeah, you do. Why don't you just tell the truth? See, this is what I'm thinking. If you flip these.
Yeah, so what would you, so why don't you just be honest every time?
Yeah. When your partner wants to have sex and you do not, what if he just told the truth? God, I'm really tired tonight, but would you probably do that? But then then you start examining, why am I tired? What am I tired about? What is it that makes me, and then let him know, but let's make a plan. This is the next step. I'm really tired every night you ask me. I think we should plan it for the weekend. Let's try Saturday morning. We're going to set the alarm before the kids get up, or make a plan around it. Mm-hmm. I have a headache. I'm tired. What can you do to solve that? Tell the truth and then work on the problem. All right, what else?
We have sex all the time. Why are you lying about that?
So this is like when their friends ask.
Probably. I mean, because you can't, your partner knows how much sex you're having. You can't be like, we have sex all the time.
I know, to your friends, right. Because we don't know what normal and healthy relationships look like. And since no one's ever told the truth about sex, just because we feel that it's wrong and taboo and no one asks us, that to say that you don't have sex just seems awful. So we all just kind of pretend everything's great. Mm-hmm. It's the equivalent of like, how you doing? I'm good. How are you? You know, is that like, sex is great. We have it all the time, don't you?
Yeah.
Let's never talk about it.
Otherwise, it's going to open up more questions. Yeah. And that's probably what people are trying to avoid.
Yeah. Like, do you think that people just say that because the sex life is really shitty?
I think some couples do, but a lot of people are like, yeah, we have sex all the time, because the reason why is because we have some shame around it. We don't understand it ourselves, and saying, unless, it's saying, no, we actually aren't a lot lately, which would help us all if we told this is what women are telling their friends. How great would it be if you're like, we're struggling lately. We're not having a lot of sex. And maybe your friend would be like open. Well, we're just like you, but we started listening to Sex with Emily. I don't know. We bought a toy. We started talking about it. We bought, some lube, and now we have sex all the time. We started role playing. I started wearing a dog collar.
I like that one.
I got a butt plug. I don't know, whatever it was that changed. And then you learn from your friends. Don't lie.
Don't.
This is the most common lies that women tell. Sex lies. I don't masturbate. No, I just don't. I don't masturbate. What?
That one confuses me.
Yeah. And we might tell our partners that too. Maybe we tell our friends, I don't know. My girl, we never talked about it. My friends, it didn't even come up. But I do think there's shame around it because it's not normal. It's still taboo. If you never heard anyone, it's the right thing to say that you don't. And then you get in a relationship and you say you don't because there's this unspoken thing that people think that if you masturbate, it's somehow cheating. Like people in their recesses of their mind still think that. So the safe thing when you're just starting to date someone, perhaps, like, oh no, I don't masturbate. Because that means that I'm all ready for. There's a confusion around what masturbation means.
I remember when I was younger and I really didn't yet masturbate. I used to always be like, well, I would just rather have someone else do it for me. But there would be nights because, you know, it wasn't like I had this plethora of penis when I was 17. And there would be nights where I was super horny and I would just like sit there frustrated. And it's just, when I finally started masturbating, I was like, I could have been doing this the whole time.
Right.
Like I would just sit there like mad at myself.
Yeah.
Well, Jamie, right. You're like, what? See, but Jamie, it's so interesting you say that because you have come a long way in your years. In the sense of there's many women that have called in, friends of mine, wherever I go, they're like, oh, when I ask them to masturbate, I have to encourage women and remind them that it actually feels good and it gives you pleasure, remind you why you like sex, it gives you confidence, you get more in your bodies. They're like, well, why would I? I have a partner, or I see my boyfriend once a week. Like we think it's somehow irresponsible or not normal to like it's wrong to give ourselves pleasure. I think that's like against it. So.
And now that's like all I do.
That's all we do. Right, exactly.
I feel like
Sorry, Lori.
James,
it's okay. She texted me again and she said, okay, you can have a little sex.
Just a little bit.
Mom's the best.
I love her. I love you, Mom.
Okay. She's got to come in here. She's great.
I know. All right, let's get to the men.
Okay. Men's most common sex lies. I never watch porn.
Like,
what?
You're just setting yourself up for further.
You are setting yourself, right, for failure. If you say you don't watch porn, and I think that a lot of men do, they're like, the right answer to this question is no, I do not watch porn. There's no, because we're so afraid of being judged, men. And so I think how great if you could be honest from the beginning and just say, yeah, I do watch porn. Be honest about it. It's like, this is standard. I'm going to tell you that most men watch porn. They will do it before the relationship, in the relationship, and then you're going into a relationship with a bunch of lies too.
Yeah, I feel like that would just take care of
lying.
so many problems from the get-go if you just were honest about the porn thing.
Well, because most partners, well, I don't know about most. Some partners probably would be okay with it. It's more of the like, you're lying and hiding it and going around behind my backs and do people still get computer viruses?
Every once in a while.
Yeah.
I mean, we're lying to protect ourselves, to protect our partner's egos, maybe like our poor behavior in the past or that we judge ourselves. You know.
Interesting.
Yeah, I know. God, I think this is so enlightening, though. If we look at this and just think, oh, it's totally normal to get into a relationship with someone and be like, oh, I do. Of course. Yes, I do masturbate. Tell me about it. Do you masturbate? And how hot? I'd love to see you masturbate sometime. That'd be really hot. We should do it together.
Ooh.
Nice.
There you go. Mutual masturbation. One of my favorite sex. It's like the fourth sex position.
Yeah.
The 8 wonders
It's one of the best pictures in your book. Is that page of mutual? Oh, that one.
Yeah.
Really got to me the first time I saw it. I was like, "Ooh, I had to put it away." I was like, "Oh my gosh!"
Oh, in the office?
Yeah. I was like, "I have to put this away."
In the office where it's easier to masturbate. It's illegal. Okay, so right, mutual masturbation is great. You learn from each other. You see what your partner likes, and then you don't have to lie about it anymore. It's all there. You get it all out. Clear all the stuff out.
And then that way it makes it, if you ever get caught masturbating by your partner, like, you know, in the act, like it makes it. Then they can be, oh, let me try.
Like, hey, come join.
Right. Mm-hmm. Or you don't have to worry that they're going to catch you every time you masturbate. I think that for a lot of people, men and women, we feel shame after we masturbate. Like there's some, like we do it and then like, I just picture men like doing it. They're on their computer and they slam down their computer like, oh, disgust, and pull their pants up and walk away. And that has to do with a lot of things, upbringing, childhood. They're afraid their mom's going to walk in. But then you repeat that in your marriage and then you're afraid your wife's going to walk in. Your children are going to walk in. No one's on your team. We know you watch porn.
This one's funny.
Which one?
Not funny, but...
Oh, babe, no, I swear, I usually last a lot longer. I swear, no, this never happens. I last a lot longer. So this just sets you up for failure because you know you don't last a lot longer. And if you don't, listen, I think we get tripped up on this, like we should last so... I mean, I think, come on, we all know what isn't long. We all know what's not long enough.
Yeah.
And it happens. So to say you usually last long, I mean, we all know, and we're fine, like 1 or 2 or 3 times, but then you got to keep lying, and you know what's going to happen again. So if you're this guy and you're still working on it, you're like, yeah, I'm working on, go back to just pleasing your partner in the moment. And I guarantee you, if you don't get stressed out that you didn't last as long as you'd like to, and you can start this tonight, because I think this is going to change. If you never last as long as you want, then what if you just do this? Let's say you come too quickly. Go back to pleasing your, then all you do is like, no big deal. Not like, oh, sorry, came, but like, go right back to pleasing your partner. Like, literally, like, do not pass go, do not apologize, do not wipe it up, do not turn on the television, turn towards your partner, and then continue to please her, him, whoever you're with. Like, that's okay, I came to it. Let me go down on her, give her a few orgasms. And then it comes back because you're not obsessed with that you think you came to, you lasted.
Right.
Right?
Do you think it's just they just feel like kind of shame and down about themselves, and that's why they like just completely
They shut down. Don't think of sex as so linear. Mm-hmm. You can make out, you could have sex, you can go back to kissing, you could come quicker than you want, and then go back down on your partner, like get her a glass of water.
And if you know, right,
the water,
and if you know that you don't last that long, then just always make sure your partner finishes first, because then that way it's kind of like it doesn't matter.
No matter. We're all happy, right? Then turn the TV on.
Okay, so this one is for both people.
Because they're so good. Like then I'm like, I could go on for 20 minutes.
But this is for both people. So
Both
is this
people.
on both lies for women and men? They never fantasize about sex with other people.
Oh, okay. I'm glad you. Everybody does. You all. Okay, you guys. Here's the other thing. You're all masturbating. Everyone's probably watching porn, and you are always fantasizing about someone else besides your partner. It happens to you more often than not. And to say that you never fantasize about sex with another woman, this is the guy's biggest lies. Not true. I'm sure.
I mean, you don't have to tell me that when you're doing it.
Yeah, you're like, right now, babe, I'm picturing someone that's not you, and she's hot. Oh, so hot. No, don't do it in that moment.
No.
But do it if this comes up. Why don't we just assume that it's true? And then when you guys are having healthy conversations about your sex life, like, so what are you into? What do you fantasize about? What fantasies do you have that you want to share with me that we could act out? That's healthy. Mm-hmm. I fantasize about you with another woman. Have you ever thought about being with women or men? Like this is an open thing, and then you never have to lie and say you don't fit it. We all eventually, at some point in our relationship, some for people it's right away, some it might take, I don't know how long. You will fantasize about someone else. So just know that, and then work from there. And don't freak out about it. It's normal. It's healthy. All right, guys, we're going to take a quick break, and we come back on to your calls.
Okay, let's talk to Mike, who's 40 in Michigan. He said he's afraid of his own sexual fantasy.
Hi, Mike.
Hey, Emily, how are you?
Hey, I'm good. How are you? Tell me what's going on. You got a fantasy, and you don't feel great about it.
Yeah, first off, I do have to say that I appreciate your talk about your dad because, I used to be an attorney, and one day I decided I couldn't live my life 6 minutes at a time, so
yeah, right?
I gave it up to you.
Oh, good.
I went on to, be, a lot more successful than I probably ever would have been as an attorney.
Yeah.
But
okay,
anyway,
good. Thanks, Mike. Yeah.
I feel his pain.
Yeah.
So my deal is, I met my wife when we were in our 20s. We actually met on a dating site back when we were all on, flip phones, which was kind of crazy. But
I remember.
My wife is, extremely beautiful, and I think I wasn't like she wasn't out of my league or nothing, but we were pretty similar. But as we've grown up, it's like everybody's like, oh my God, they think, oh, she married you because of your money, this and that, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And so it's this constant like, oh my God, your wife's so much hotter than you, blah, blah, blah. And I think I've kind of like narrowed it down to like have this fantasy of her being with another guy.
Uh-huh. Okay.
And that's kind of like that's like what I think about that gets me off.
Yeah. It's called cuckolding.
But the reality is I don't want that.
You don't want it.
You know
Okay. No, I get it. So that's a common fantasy. Cuckolding is what we call it when you're picturing your wife with another man. So it's common. It's for a lot of different reasons, but it's in a way like, and I could see guys in Michigan, because I'm from Michigan, being like, yeah, dude, she's so hot. I can't believe it. Look at you. Why is she with you? And they just, because they don't know what else to say, but you hear that for 20 years and then you're like, oh my God, that would, and I get, we kind of eroticize sometimes things that we don't have any control of it, truly. So that's what happened. So you don't want it to happen. Are you kind of stuck because that's what you keep fantasizing about, or could you tell her about it?
I don't know if I don't want it to happen,
Yeah,
but I'm scared about if it could happen, if I'd have regret.
Well, here's what you could do. I mean, there are couples who go through with it and they find it really hot. You guys have been together 20 years, and also just know there's two fantasies. There are the ones that we want to happen, and then there's the ones we just like to keep to ourselves. And we like to keep those when we're masturbating, or we even can bring them into the bedroom and talk about it with our partner, but we don't really want it to happen. So I think you could try role playing it first, like with dirty talk with your wife, like kind of being like, oh, and like let her know. If you guys have ever talked about your sex life, it's a great time, and be like, let's try some new things this month. Emily said it was masturbation month. Like, I have fantasies. Do you have any fantasies? And then you could start role playing it and say, like, I'm picturing you with another man right now. And then you can kind of get into it and see how that actually would feel. Maybe you could watch some porn with it. Like, that's what I recommend. Like, couples who want threesomes, or they want to open up, or they want to swing. I'm like, do not rush into any of this stuff. Like, this stuff is like, you got to talk it through with your partner. You got to, test the waters, because you might find it, really hot, or you might, it could be really disturbing, and you don't know which way it's going to go. So I would kind of play it out a little bit more.
We've gone to, like, just for fun, swingers club with rule like that. We're not really going to do anything, blah, blah, blah. But,
so you have gone. You've gone.
I don't feel like it's anything that she would really want to do.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Well, then maybe it could just be hot fantasizing about it then with her if she doesn't want to do it. But you never know. Maybe she would. We never know. But she might not want to, and it can be tricky. So I think it's you don't know until you talk to her about it. And you could also talk about, but it's a fantasy, like talk to her about some things maybe she's fantasized about as well. So just kind of tread lightly, baby steps. We don't have to solve all of this in the first night, the first time you have the conversation,
But do you think that it's a product of constantly hearing, oh, she's so much hotter than you, she's, blah, blah, blah.
I can't tell.
Everybody wants her,
Honestly, there's a lot of different reasons why. How long have you had this fantasy?
I mean, it's been like probably in the last few years. Like, it wasn't always there, but
it's hard to say. That could be one of them. It could be, there's a lot of other reasons why people have this fantasy. Like, it's some kind of like pleasure and pain are so closely related. So perhaps there's a way that would be humiliating, but then that also could be erotic. Or it could be really pleasurable for you to see your wife with someone else. And that actually is the key reason. Or maybe part of it feels like, so I don't know what it is for you. And I guess it doesn't really matter. Like, did it bother you when everyone was saying that? Or was it kind of like, yeah, I know she's hot, I think
when I was younger it bothered me, but as I've gotten older, it's like kind of flattering,
Yeah, no, I think so. I can't tell you why, but I think that if you're calling in the radio show with this question, I think it'd be fun to talk to her about it and keep it light and talk about your fantasies. And, you don't have to say, I picture you having, because let me tell you the other thing. Cuckolding or talking about wearing women's underwear when you're straight, when you're in a relationship with a woman. Like, these are some things that come up a lot on the show. And I think you tread lightly. Like, you don't need to lead with, it could not make sense to her. Like, you want me to have sex with someone? What? Are you not attracted? Like, do you not want to have sex with me? Does this mean you want to have sex with someone else? You know what I'm saying? It could all be very confusing after 20 years. Not that she couldn't get there on her own. So it's more about just having a conversation with her about fantasies, about things she's been wanting to try. It's been 20 years. I want to kind of see how we can play together. Yeah. Julie, did you want to say something? She's still here.
Question.
Yeah.
I have a question. Does she know that you've had this fantasy?
She doesn't.
Okay. So how do you think, knowing her, that she would react if you had ever communicated that to her?
I don't think she wants to do it. I think she feels
but will
you
she
don't know.
Feel bad hearing that you've had this fantasy?
He doesn't know yet.
No, he knows her. He knows his wife. What's your like? Do you think that she might not like that you've had this fantasy? Are you afraid that she would not like that?
I think so. She's okay with it. And the fact, I mean, we've gone to.
You said you've gone to strip club. Yeah, so you might be surprised. You might be surprised.
But at the same time, I think she's made it clear, like I don't want to have sex with someone else.
But she made it clear, but she went to the club with you. So maybe she said that because that's what I think you guys have to have an authentic conversation, because I think if she went to a strip club with you, or she went to a swinger club and you never said it'd be hot, that you're both afraid to say that you might want to dabble in that, experience something else is what I think. Because if she's in the door with you there, oh, but I'd never want to do it because you never said, you're both afraid right now to say something, I think. Maybe not the cuckolding, but there has to be a really real conversation that happens, Mike, with you two. Just like, we've been together 20 years. I love you. Let's take this to the, like, I will never leave you. This is amazing. You can't tell me anything right now that's going to be upset. However you want to lay it out. But I think that you both are afraid of the judgment from the other one. And so you're not moving forward with what you want. And I'm telling you, every relationship, you've got to work on your sex life. There has to be something that has to change. If it stays the same, it's going to get boring and stale. And so couples have to continue to talk about it. So that's my homework for you, Mike. Bring it up in a way that feels comfortable for you. When you guys are not in the bedroom.
All right, let's talk to Joe, 50 in Michigan. He's got a relationship question.
Hey, Joe in Michigan. How you doing?
Well, hello there.
Hi.
Hi, how are you?
So good. How are you?
I'm doing good.
Good. Thanks for calling.
So, try to keep it short. I've been married for 10 years.
Okay.
And relationships up and down. 5 years were great, and the last 5 have been really rocky. And when it comes to sex, we're just kind of both going in separate directions.
Okay.
And I'm just trying to find a way to get her to respond to me a little more.
Okay. So Joe, tell me, like, so it's been 10 years. Have you talked about it?
Yeah.
Have you ever said, hey, looks like our sex been a little, up and down, and let's talk about it?
Well, yeah, I mean, we've talked about it. It's just that, I just don't think we're sexually compatible.
Tell me why you think that. Give me an example.
Well, I'm a little bit on the wild side, and she's a little bit not as much, and I would like her to be, but
right.
I understand.
Give me a wild example.
Well, like going out, date night, fooling around a little bit, maybe in public.
Yeah, sex in public.
And it's just.
Yeah, she's
just not there.
Got it. So, and you guys been okay. So. Here's
let me get to the real.
Oh,
well, I know.
Yeah, keep talking, Joe. Tell me the real thing.
Issue.
Do it. Do it.
So we went through a stint where sex was maybe once every 6 months if I was lucky. So I went down the porn route, and now currently addicted to porn.
Okay, got it, Joe.
So
yes, okay.
I have ED issues, and she feels it's her because I'm not sexually attracted to her.
Okay.
But I think it's...
Yeah, it's more about the porn. Okay, Joe, thanks for calling on this, because this is like, I can't tell you, first of all, it's really brave, and so many men are like in your same exact position. So I love that you're calling with this, because this is so common, Joe, So here's the thing. It is. And so thank you for calling. I mean, really. So have you taken a break from the porn yet?
I tried, but...
Yeah.
If she finds me watching it, she takes it totally left field.
Of course, yeah. It's so misunderstood. Joe, did you guys grow up?
I said, well, let's watch it together.
All right.
Yeah, go ahead.
But no, I'm just wondering, like, okay, so you've been together 10 years. I'm just trying to understand. So there's a lot going on now. And so it sounds like since the beginning, actually, you guys have come from very different places, like as far as, just her understanding porn and understanding masturbation. But I got to be honest with you, most women... I grew up in Michigan, Joe. I didn't know this stuff. I'm glad I moved to California because I swear I thought with my boyfriend when I moved, oh God, he watched a porn that's so bad. Is he cheating on me? Does it mean he's not into me? It's very common. So I understand why she thinks that. So that you're not doing anything wrong, but maybe because you had to hide it from her for so long and the sex wasn't happening, it became kind of an addictive thing, right? And so...
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, I get that. So this is what you got to do, Joe. Just try this and don't beat yourself up, okay? But really the best thing, what all the research says, is that you really should just kind of just take a break from it. Like if you can say, I'm going to start without it and then finish with it, or if you could just try to go cold turkey and be okay that maybe you won't ejaculate that time, or maybe you won't be as hard, but just to try. And another thing to do that I think would be great is when you're find yourself going towards the porn, say, what is it that I need in this moment? And how can I turn this energy of whatever I'm putting towards this porn into my wife? How can I somehow think about her pleasure right now? What would she need to be turned on right now? Because I'm wondering, Joe, does she have orgasms? Does she have pleasure from sex? Do you know what turns her on?
Yes.
Great. So, like, give me an example.
It's just a lack of energy. She just doesn't have the drive. She's bipolar, so that doesn't help.
Is she medicated or unmedicated?
Yes, she's medicated, and her sex drive is probably less than normal. But when it does happen, the problem is the ED issue. I think I'm over-sensorized.
Right. So can you what if you just went down and...
Well, what am I supposed to do with that?
Well, here's the thing, Joe. This is what I'm saying. If you can take that energy away from... Do you ever perform oral sex on her? Like, you get pleasure from giving her pleasure, correct? So, Joe, maybe this might seem sort of selfless for a while, but what if you're like, I just want to make it about you tonight? I want to give you a massage. I want to go down on you, and I want to give you pleasure, and I don't even want to it's not about me. And I got to be honest, when you take it off yourself and you're just focusing on her pleasure and her orgasm, first of all, you'd be amazed to see what happens with your erection. Might just come back, because the reason why we have ED typically, or PE, is there's a lot of reasons. Yes, it could be because of porn, but most of it has to do with our head. Being in your head. Well, if you're in your head thinking about your wife and her beautiful body and her pleasing her and all these things, that just might help you. I know it will. I think it's going to be, you got to try something different. I think that'll help you get towards where you want to be. And I also think that maybe if it's been 10 years and you think, no, she's never going to get it, she's still freaking out about porn, then therapy could help you guys too. I think the more honesty and authenticity you can have now with your wife and say, all I want to do is get back to you and this sex with you. Like, that's what I care about so much, and I love you, and I remember the first 5 years, and I'm doing my best. I'm trying not to watch porn. Like, I think you could be honest, Joe. I mean, go now. You don't have to say it all tonight.
I have been honest with her, and she just doesn't.
Well, why don't you guys listen to the show together? You guys can listen to shows. You can understand. I mean, this is women don't often understand. Men, but people are very confused about porn. So I would just try to kind of, pull back on the porn, try to go cold turkey, and then next time think to yourself, what could I do to please my wife now? That's my advice for today. You know I'm here every night, Joe, for you, 5 nights a week, okay? So
very good.
Thanks for calling in and keep me posted. Thanks for calling, Joe.
Melanie, 22 in California, writes, Hi, Emily. I've been listening to your show recently and have become more confident in my own body and sex life. Despite this progress, there is one part of my body that I struggle to love due to its appearance, my vagina. My inner labia are uneven in length, and it makes me feel very insecure when receiving oral or when it is in a well-lit room and my partner can see it. Any advice on learning to love this about myself would be great. Thank you.
Yes. Okay, Melanie, I do have some advice for you. So all I want you to know that is, first of all, I don't know where this, and we'll get into some men too. Men don't love their penises, but let's talk about women for a second. I know that with the advent of porn being everywhere and that we can actually see other women, we can see their labias, their vaginas, their vulvas, that all of a sudden the last 10, 15 years or so, we've gotten into this, like, they should look a certain way, and labias are all symmetrical, and they're like all tucked in, and they're super pink, and it's like this perfect looking thing. That, remember that the things that you see in porn are not necessarily real. Perhaps women are casted for the way they look, and men for their larger penises, but I'm telling you, let me just tell you this part, labias are not symmetrical. Like, I don't even know where that came from. I understand not loving your labia, your inner labia. Like, no one, and first of all, no one's going to notice either. Not that it matters, but just so you know, the more confident you are in your body, like, the more you are like, yeah, you're lucky you get to be going down to me. Even if that's in your mind, the more someone's going to want to give you pleasure. And if there is someone who does judge you, I think we've all been teased before about something. I got teased, for being like a chubby kid in 6th grade. I've gotten teased for...
Which I can't actually ever
I
imagine
was a little chubby. I mean, I've gotten teased for my voice. gotten teased.
Yes.
And I think those are not your people, especially now as adults. Let's just talk about this. You're a person who is going to, if they ever did say something, again, you just found out that they are not their person. But I hear this from people of all ages. And I think we all, again, we have parts of our body that we don't love. And I do think that media and like larger companies now, for, clothing brands and websites, they've all made it more like body inclusive. They've been more, you see different body types. And like, remember, I think it was Dove that started out having their campaign of all different. And now we've seen other companies follow suit, which is amazing. But the problem is for vulvas, we don't see that. There's not a lot of places for women to go to realize that they are totally fine, that you look just like in fact, they're like snowflakes. If you look, we have a few places for you to go right now. The Vulva Gallery, we'll put this in the show notes. The Vulva Gallery on Instagram or their website is a great account to check out because you're going to see that they're like all beautiful and all different. But I get that me just telling you that isn't going to be the way to get you there right away. But I just wanted to lay the groundwork there for you, Melanie. I mean, the other thing is that my challenge then for this month, why I think we can all get over it, is first realize that if you got to masturbate more on your own, you just do, Melanie, and everybody here who have you a part of your body and you think, I don't want someone to go down on me, I'm afraid they're going to look at it. The more that you actually masturbate and love yourself and even take a mirror to it, I'm just going to keep telling people to put a mirror up there until they finally realize that they should do it, because I'm telling you, that is a game changer. You could even use your phone. I think we all have our phones, and you can take a look and be like, wow, when you start to touch yourself, you'll realize that like your clitoris swells and your vulva, it all changes. And then you'll realize like how amazing your body is there to give you pleasure, like your clitoris. Like you'll realize that like that's why this body part exists, and it'll also give you more confidence. So the more confident you are in your ability to please yourself and have orgasms and pleasure, then when you're with a partner, you'll be like, it's kind of like when you master anything, I guess. Like when you learn to be confident on a date, or you learn to be confident, wherever else, speaking or doing anything, you just don't think about these things anymore. So when you build your confidence by looking at it, realizing that you know how to move and you know what makes yourself feel good, you can even write in a journal, write daily affirmations. I love the vaginal idea. Daily affirmations. My labia gives me pleasure. It's a part of me. I love myself. You'd be surprised at how daily affirmations work. They really, really do. Just saying these things, leaving notes around your house that make you feel good. It is a process, but I think you can learn to change your mindset. Definitely at 22. I don't know where this, and at any age really, because I think that what women don't realize is that our bodies change over time too.
Do you think now, because I mean, there are women who have emailed in about this a while back, even recently, like just through always women are emailing about this, but like that are, in their like 40s and 50s. Not as much usually people in their early 20s.
Right.
Do you think it's like more prevalent?
I think it's because of porn.
Yeah.
Yeah,
because
I do.
We're seeing it now at a younger ages.
Absolutely. I think that's the only way, because when I read this I was like, why does she think that's a weird thing, that you're that it's uneven? Like, show me an even labia. Like they move around, they change, hormones, all these things. So, and I think it's because of porn maybe.
Yeah. I mean,
probably. Where else would you be like holding yourself?
Also, I was thinking about this too just now. When Bush was more in porn,
the president, but no,
that's what I thought.
No, but like
when Bush was in office, I'm like, James, you were in porn. Yeah,
no, but when there was more pubic hair, like in the magazines before, you couldn't even really see the labia, so no one would know.
That's true too. That's another great point.
But now everyone's bare.
Now everyone's Now they're like, right. That's why. Bring the Bush back.
Do you think that maybe someone had mentioned something?
Well, that's what I fear, that perhaps someone did say to her, like, oh, it looks weird. Probably because that's someone who's 20-something, only saw something in porn. You realize, and maybe they even tuck in a labia for certain scenes in porn, and they're not really having orgasms. And yeah, they do that stuff.
See that.
Yes, they shoot the penis from different angles so it looks bigger. I just think, you guys, I just want to help everyone learn to love themselves more. I'm just saying that, like, if you commit every day this month, like for 10 minutes, I'm going to take a look at it. I'm going to be like, I love you, labia. You're going to look in the mirror and look at yourself naked. These are all exercises. I mean, I learned this in my sex school, my doctorate school. Like, we had to do exercises where we went home and we'd look in the mirror and we had to draw our vulvas. And I mean, it sounds really silly, but it totally works. And you're just like, I love every part of my body.
Okay, we have Jen, 57, in Illinois, who wants to know how she could be better tolerate swallowing.
Oh, okay. Hi, Jen. How you doing?
Hi.
Hi. So, swallowing, not fun, huh? Doesn't feel good.
Well, it's like the taste is just kind of not pleasant.
Yeah.
And it's something that he really, really loves. He really gets off on when I do it.
Yep.
And sometimes I will go into it with the expectation that I'm going to do it tonight, and I get to a point and I just start with the gag reflex.
Yeah.
Other times I'm able to do it, and I wonder if you have any tips on how it can be more tolerable or pleasurable for me.
I would say, here, I have a few tips for you. Jen, few tips for you. Flavored lube, amazing. Flavored lube, we have some, but it depends what you like. We have watermelon. They have, Joe makes, our favorite is Joe. They make some really great lubes that are flavored. There's watermelon, there's creme brulee. And so just do that. Like, honestly, that's what it will taste like. And then you'll be caught up in the chocolate. You'll be like, oh my God, this is so good. So get a bottle of flavored lube. You can get like little ones and try out which ones you like. Also, you could use those Listerine strips. Those are a great thing to put on your tongue. And actually, it can feel good to your partner to have like a little tingly thing on your tongue because those last. And then also mouthwash by the bed can help. And then just try not to hold it in your mouth too long. When it's coming in, you just swallow it, right? But I think the flavored lube, at least for me and others we've recommended, they're super psyched about that. And then the Listerine strip kind of blocks everything out. So, yeah, going into it, I think with a plan like that would make it a lot easier for you, Jen.
Okay.
What do you think?
Well, thank you.
Yeah, let me know how it goes, okay? Thanks, Jen. Thanks for calling. Those are some workarounds. It works. Tastes good. I wish they still made those mask strips.
I used to not swallow when I was younger just because I don't know. I was like, oh, it's gross. It's whatever. I'm not doing that. But then I realized, though, the time that it took me to like hold it in my mouth and go to the bathroom to spit it out, it's like it's in your mouth for a long time. You might as well just swallow. And if you're like, if you just hold it,
you just got it. You just do it.
You just knock it back.
One down.
It hurts my stomach to swallow.
Oh, it does?
Yeah,
Really?
It doesn't have the best reaction with me when I swallow. So it's not really like I don't like the taste. I don't like.
You just spit it out?
But like I try to do it like nicely enough to be like, give me 1 second. Like just go real quick and then come back because like every time I swallow it, I have like a really sick feeling in my stomach.
Wow, I wonder if it's partly psychosomatic.
Maybe. And I try to like eat things beforehand so I'm not swallowing on an empty stomach. And I'm like
swallow on an empty stomach.
Yeah.
Healthy sex tip. Don't swallow an empty stomach.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's interesting. I don't know. I wonder if it's part of in your head a little bit.
Into this is good for my
But also, I've never not swallowed because I think I've told you this, but growing up when we learned about blowjobs in high school, I was like, oh, I thought you had to I thought that was the right thing. Like, good girls swallow. Like you just swallow. That's the right. I didn't know there was an option just for whatever reason. Not ladylike, but more like, then I'll be an A+ blowjob student.
Nice.
Like you just swallow.
You're an overachiever.
I'm an overachiever. I was like, I will swallow. I've never spit.
Wow.
Proud to say I've never once spit. But just because I didn't think that was like, I'm a pleaser.
I had a friend that would literally just spit right on the floor right after. She's like, I didn't care. I was like, well, hey, man.
Jesus.
No, see, I'll just go to the bathroom or
a cup by the bed. I think it's just easier to swallow. And a lot of, again, you guys, like a lot of the things you're going to call in for, a lot of it's in our heads. And I can help you move through it. I can give you little hacks. Yeah.
Well, we have Melody, 63, New Jersey, who does have a tip for swallowing as well.
Melody, tell me everything. Thanks for calling.
Hi, can you hear me?
Yeah, I got you.
Okay, well, I don't know about the stomach problem. I don't have an answer for that. But for swallowing, just lift your tongue, because then you don't taste it.
Oh.
Lift your tongue, and then you just...
So just as they're coming, you just lift your tongue, and then you don't taste it, and then you can swallow it right away.
Really? Why would you? Oh, I guess your taste buds. Oh, wow. That's a great...
I tell all my friends that one.
That's a great swallowing hack, Melody. I love it.
Yes,
I hope Jen's still listening. Wow, Melody. I love my listeners. Thank you, Melody. Wow. I mean, never heard that.
So like lift so it goes underneath your tongue?
Like that.
And to the back.
Yeah.
Genius.
Shoot it back. All right, guys, hope you enjoyed the show. Thanks for subscribing and sharing the show with your friends. You know, we release 3 shows a week. I hope you're enjoying them. Thanks to my amazing team, Ken, Kristen, Michelle, producer Jamie, and Michael. Was it good for you? Email me, feedback@sexwithemily.com.